it's me, it's what I wanted, and definitely that piercing has been tricky one to heal and to take care of, but I'm really excited that that was my first one that I got at Avanti because I can relate now to everyone.
Hello, friends. I'm here with Avanti's very own Anastasia today. If you've ever been in the studio since last October, you've most likely been greeted by her smiling face. I am so excited to talk to you today about piercing, about life, and about adventure, really. So first, before we really dive into any of my many questions, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
All right. Hey, Jess. I'm Anastasia. I moved to the US from Ukraine about 5 years ago, and I've been living in Portland almost a year now. And I've been a part of Avanti family for a little over half a year now, I think. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm being a little awkward.
No, you're fine. No, you're totally fine. Yeah, it has been almost half a year. It's crazy how fast time flies.
I know. I'm like, I always felt like that new person over there, but then all of a sudden I just got that sweet notification from home base that, yay, you've been working here for that many months. And I'm like, already? Like, what? Wow. The time flies.
It really does. My year comes up in July, and I'm like, that's in what, like 3 months? I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So obviously you're no stranger to adventure. You moved here from the Ukraine. You actually moved to California, right? From the Ukraine?
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because that's a huge change to go from one country to another country and then from one state to the other. So could you tell me a little bit about like what that was like? Was it scary? Was it exciting? Was it a little bit of both?
It was definitely both. Scary probably was the winner at first because it wasn't a well-planned move, so it was kind of like a little random thing. So it was happening really fast and there was no time to actually like sit down and analyze everything that's been happening. So it was definitely scary. I moved to the US. I didn't turn 18 yet, so I just moved here and then I turned 18. So it was like a lot, and I didn't speak English, so that was definitely a challenge because I thought I did, but then like I was learning a different English and I knew the words, but I couldn't really talk. And also it's just the emotional barrier when you move here and then you talk to the native speakers. You're just like, oh, I don't want to sound stupid. So you're just like afraid to say anything basically. So for like good, I want to say half a year, all I could do is like nod yes and no. And that was pretty much my conversation with people. So that was definitely the hardest part about moving. And then I went to college and I started taking the English as a second language classes, and slowly it started getting easier once I started like living by myself and then going to college. I got a job and everything. So I was like slowly getting it, and it was definitely exciting because I learned how to be independent definitely after I moved, and that was like also a challenge. And I don't think that would have happened the same way if I stayed back in Ukraine, because like it was really quick. Like all of a sudden here I am in college, all of a sudden here I am renting a room with another person, and then all of a sudden I have a job and I have to speak English at my job, and I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. And then, it's just all of those things, learning how to like manage your finance, all of that, and just like all of those adult things started happening to me. So that was definitely, it was both. It was scary because I don't think I was ready to grow up yet, but at the same time, it was definitely exciting because I was like, oh my God, I'm an adult now. Yeah. And then, yeah, we moved to Oregon, Portland, like I said, almost a year ago. That was definitely also a challenge because like when I lived in LA, it sort of started turning into routine. Like my everyday life was kind of like same. I was going to work and then I was going to school and then that was pretty much it. And it was kind of hard to like when you're getting used to the circumstance you're in, you're just like, okay, like whether or not I like it or not, like I'm just gonna stay here because it's comfortable. It's my comfort zone right here. But then it was a time for a change, and it was a very, very random and quick decision to move to different state, and we didn't really have much time to get ready, so it was all like very chaotic. But then, and we've been in Portland only for like 3 days, and that was all we knew about Portland. Like literally, we just took a trip here for 3 days just to see the city and just to kind of get the feeling of it and like whether or not we want to move. And it was just, and we always wanted to see it just because we've heard it was beautiful. And the first day, I remember we came here, we came out from the airport, and I was like, I love it. I want to be here. It's definitely like, that's what I wanted because this city definitely is more like my hometown, and it reminds me a lot of Ukraine and where I grew up. It's also like same kind of a thing. It's also very green and like a lot of hills. And just when I went to like, especially when I went to downtown Portland, I was like almost crying because I was like, that just looks so similar, like I can't. And yeah, after those 3 days, we were like, okay, we want to move here. Like it was just like kind of like a thing where you come over and then you feel like you belong here. I don't know whether or not it was true, but it was definitely that feeling that we were like, okay, yes, like that's the place we want to be in. And in 3 months since then, we just packed everything and we're like, we're going. That was a challenge because we had no one in here. So that was like the first time when in LA, like at least like I had my aunt living very close by. I had like some friends throughout the years and everything. So it was kind of like a little easier versus we're coming here. We know nobody, we know nothing. So we're like, okay. But it's been a year, and I think we made a right choice because like every day we're just like, we're so excited to be here, and you don't get tired of what you see in the window every day because it's always beautiful and the weather is awesome, and like we love rain and everything. So it's just things worked out great. It was definitely a challenge, but it was worth it 100%. And you know, you overcome some challenges and here you are, and we're like, we love our place, we love our apartment, we love where we live, we love the weather, everything. So it was definitely worth it, even though it was kind of a challenge.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad you moved here. That is so like a crazy adventure, and I know it took 5 years, but it still sounds like a whirlwind, even though it was like broken up into 5 years.
Oh yeah.
What was the change, like culture shock? Because I got to study in Italy for a little bit, and even though it wasn't nearly as long, I definitely experienced something. Being in a country where I didn't speak any Italian and I never knew what anyone was saying to me, could definitely relate to that. I hated talking. I would just like,
yep.
I'm like, I don't know, like, oh yeah. I would always say like, prego, like, thank you. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. Yeah, and then, you know, when I found a place that looked like Oregon, it was like, feel like I'm home, because you get homesick. And a lot of it is the culture can be very isolating, going from a way of interacting with people that's familiar to a way that's very unfamiliar, and you start to really value body language when you understand what it is.
Oh yeah.
What was that like going from the Ukraine, which is very, very different, I'm assuming, from the United States, to California, which has a culture of its own? You know, what was that like?
Um, it was definitely different. Like, luckily, I before I moved, I did have a trip to LA, so like during summer for like a month. So I kind of saw it, but it was mostly just like to visit my family, you know, and it was my first time figuring out what US is because I never left my country. So it was like not like usually you would it's more common that people would go to Europe for the first time or something like that because it was so much closer. But versus me, I'm like all the way around the ocean. And I remember the first time we were driving from airport and I saw the palm tree for the first time in my life. And I was like, they are huge. That for some reason, that's like the first memory I have from the US, that it was the palm trees. And then definitely like the first day I came over here, it was a cultural shock because my aunt took me to, right from the airport, she took me to the grocery store because we needed to like stop by and get something for dinner. And I remember walking in and just like thinking that everyone is looking at me, which wasn't true, but that's how I felt because everyone was smiling at me. And I was like, what's wrong with me? So then I started feeling a little awkward and I'm like walking around following my aunt. Also, I'm after the flight, so I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And it's just every person would like say hi to my aunt and then look at me and like say hi or not to me. And I'm like, how does she know all these people? Like, who are they? Like, she knows every person in the store. And so then I like we left the store and I asked her and I was like, is something like wrong with me? Do they why is everyone staring at me? Like, do I have something or what? And she's like, no. I'm like, but why is everyone laughing like when they're looking at me or something? She's like, no one's doing that. They're just smiling because that's how it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I started noticing that, and that was definitely like one of the first things I could. It took me a while to get used to it, but still, definitely just like the fact that you can be walking on the street and just a stranger could come up and be like, hey, I really like your t-shirt, or you have a nice makeup or something like that. That was kind of like scaring me at first because I'm definitely not used to that, because it was the biggest difference between like US and Ukraine, because in Ukraine, like, that won't happen as often. Like, unless you know the person, you won't really come up to them. That's a pretty rare thing. Versus here, that's like, it was definitely very common, and just like people are being super, super nice and everyone's like smiling. That was like the first thing that I told my mom when I was on the call with her after I moved. I was like, everyone's smiling here. Like, I don't know if I can keep up with that, because I felt like I always looked grumpy because I didn't smile enough.
Oh,
So that was definitely a cultural difference. And then just in general, I mean, it's very different. Like, people are very different. It's different perspectives on life and everything. It was something to get used to, because like the way people think is different, the way people say things, all of that is just so different. And it was definitely fun learning it. And but it was a struggle, like especially with like language. That was a thing, because like you said, the body language was my everything. I was like, I think I could explain everything with my hands. I remember being like super, super scared when I had to like go into 7-Eleven for the first time by myself and like buying something and like saying something. I was like, please don't talk to me, because I'm so scared. And it was also like, I'll say something wrong and then I'll feel kind of like embarrassed a little. But everyone was telling me like, don't be scared to talk, because people will still understand you, and if they don't, they'll just ask you to repeat, and that's fine. And for some reason, I just assumed that, it'll be kind of like annoying for people to like, try to understand me. Like, I didn't want to, just like, that was a barrier that I had. And so I remember, like, I went to that 7-Eleven, and I wanted Coke. And I'm like, how do they say Coke in English? Because in Ukrainian, in Russian, it's like Coca-Cola. And so I'm like, how do I ask for that? Because I didn't know like the short version of Coke. And I was like, could I get cola? And then, and I remember the lady was just like looking at me, and she was just like, what? And I got so scared, like I wanted to run away. Like I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I said something stupid, I think. And then she was like, do you mean Coke? And I was like, I guess. Yes. So that was definitely yeah. No, that was definitely like, I've been into a few situations like that, and right now it's very funny to remember that. At the moment it was like definitely scary, but yeah, definitely I could tell the difference also from like moving from California to Oregon and everything. That was a complete different thing, because after like, I don't know, like what, 4 years of living in LA, I thought, okay, I kind of understand what it is, the US and everything, like what kind of people there live. And I was like traveling a little bit, not like crazy. I haven't seen like a whole lot of US, but I've seen some. So I was like, oh, okay, like I started getting it. And then we came to Oregon, and I was like, oh, that's completely different. I guess I don't know everything about the US yet, because it's just, I mean, I don't see like a dramatic difference, but from what I've seen, it's just here, what I like more is the feeling of the community. Like you're living, and like, especially right now with everything and the whole apocalypse happening, it's definitely something we've noticed, that like, even like we have the nicest neighbors. Everyone's always like asking if you need anything, if you have everything you need. Everyone's like trying to help each other, and that's really awesome to see, because I feel like in LA it's more like everyone moves there with like set goals. Usually it's like, you want to be an actress, you want to be a model, you want to be a singer, you want to be all of that, and you're just like moving towards that goal. Versus here, and that's pretty much everyone I met in LA, versus here I feel like it's, you're just living, and you're just enjoying your life, and you do what you want to do, kind of a thing. You don't have like, in LA we just had that feeling that we always were like, we needed to do something, we needed to like run somewhere, like work, like all of that. And we moved here, and we're like, wait a second, how about we start enjoying our lives and just do what we want to do, and be where we want to be, and like not being in rush anywhere or anything like that, and just relax. That's the kind of vibe we got from Portland. And also I just feel like whatever you want to do here is normal, because keep Portland weird and all of that. That's what we love the most about it, because like, yeah, you can be you. And I think that's like, because definitely in LA that was not always the case, but yeah, in here it was definitely like, be yourself, enjoy yourself, and that's what we wanted to do. So that was also a big difference that we've noticed.
That's very interesting. I know that there's a lot of hubbub in Oregon because people are moving here, and I'm like, well, I'm curious why. Yeah. So maybe I should ask somebody.
Yep.
So you said you've seen other parts of the U.S. Was it other parts in California, or have you explored other states?
Let's see. I've definitely been a few places in California, but then I also got really lucky to visit Alaska, which was Yeah, it was definitely, but it was like before I moved here, we were just like planning a trip when I was coming to visit LA, and it just happened. It all worked out and it was perfect. So, and we came to Alaska, which just, yeah, I fell in love with it. It was definitely very different from what I expected it to look. It was completely different in America. Um, and very beautiful. I'm definitely looking forward to going back there because one time was definitely not enough, and I don't think I was old enough to like see everything I wanted to see there and everything. So I would definitely go back there. And then also, I mean, Las Vegas. Definitely been there a few times. That was fun. Arizona, um, very hot out there. I went there a few times during summer because my grandma, she lives in Arizona, and her birthday's in the end of June. And it's always really, really hot out there, but we would always come there for her birthday. And yeah, I don't think I would be able to live there because I love everything there except for the weather. It was a little too hot. Um, Other than that, I think that's that's pretty much it. And then Oregon happened. Um, so yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of US. I'm definitely it's a plan. I definitely want to travel and see as much as I can because something I learned about the US, wherever you go, it's like all different, and you can, travel a little bit and then you're in a whole new world. And I am definitely excited and looking forward to learn more about where we're at because it's so, so different.
It's really cool. What you made me think was, I think that obviously we're in the body modification world, and a lot of people modify themselves as a form of expression and also as a form of self-discovery. But it's almost like you've used travel before because you don't have very many modifications, but
Oh
you do
yeah,
have
no.
a heart for it. And I think that traveling is a way of collecting different parts of yourself, and kind of momentumizing, different times in your life, which was just very interesting. I hadn't really thought of that but it's true, like you went through and you visited different parts and you were a different person in each place that you went, and you left leaving a part of yourself behind and taking a new part almost. Would you say
definitely? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I said, would you say that they're similar?
Definitely. I mean, just traveling in general, I think like that's my biggest dream for the nearest future. When this is all over, I really do want to go and travel places as many as I can because that's something that I found about myself that I really love doing, and it definitely can change you as a person. That's what I believe in because I would compare myself right now and a year ago, like living in LA. It's two different personalities. And then while living in LA, like before, it's just always, it definitely like the more you see, the more you visit, it kind of also shapes you as a person. And it definitely is very similar with body modification because like you said, I don't have many piercings, but I did have a few before I started working there, and then as I started working, I got my favorite one. And it's like, you go to some places like when you travel and it leaves nothing for you, like you're just like, okay, it's a cool place, nothing else, looking forward to see something else. But then you go to some places and you're like, oh my God, like I want to stay here as much as I can. I did feel the same way with my piercings because I got a piercing that I was just like, I just got stabbed. Okay. And that was my navel piercing because it was a very impulsive thing that I decided to do just because it was cool, not because I really, really like was dreaming about it or anything like that. I was just like, do you want to do it? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's do it. Versus the one that I got on my ear, that one is definitely like, oh, I that's a whole thing. Like, I love that piercing. I don't really consider anything before that a real thing. That was my first kind of introduction to the body modification world, and I never thought of it as being a my thing. I always looked at everyone who like had facial piercings or like really cool ear piercings, and I was like, oh my god, they look so cool. Like, I really want to look like that. But it was mostly just like the look of it. So I thought, you have to have certain style, you have to have certain look for the piercing to have. But something I learned is that no, it's not about that. It's about what you feel like you want to look and what makes you feel comfortable. Because definitely I've been through a lot of stages where I'm like, I couldn't find my comfortable self, and I would like change my hair color all the times, or I would do like crazy makeups, or like I would change my outfits and be like different styles. So I was always like kind of like looking for what it is that works for me, and I always kind of felt like I was pretending to be someone else, but I wasn't myself at the same time. And it was just, I was trying to find it. But then once I got that piercing, I was like, it was a lot of thinking. And then I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter if, like you look at me and you can tell right away that I'm like into body modification or not. I know it's like, it's not a lot of what I have right now, but it's so me that it's that one piercing that's worth all those hair changing colors and all of that I've been trying to do, because that was never me, because I was just like trying it out. But with this one, like, it's this snag, the orbital one, and it's originally going to be a hoop in there. Right now it's still healing, but I just love it. It's me, it's what I wanted. And definitely that piercing has been tricky one to heal and to take care of, but I'm really excited that that was my first one that I got at Avanti, because I can relate now to everyone who comes in and experiences some issues with like healing their piercings or anything like that. I definitely because just getting a piercing and like have it heal perfectly fine in like few months, that's easy versus me having to take care of it like every once a month, like really hardcore stuff, because it's definitely like a placement and everything. But I'm thankful for that as well, because that helps me actually relate to what people might feel with their piercings and stuff. And also there were a few times when I was just like almost like I'm done where I was like, I don't think I can take it anymore. But then it was also like I would like stop myself and I would think, and I like, it means like a lot to me right now. And the more like I want to kind of like even prove myself that I can keep up with taking care of it as long as it takes, and like for however long it takes, because I really want to end up having a nice, cute, healed up piercing there. And that's my goal. And I'm like, every time like I would have to kind of like stop myself, and I'm like, hey, we've been through so much with this piercing already. It's like halfway done. Like all I need is another few more months and it should be good. So it's definitely like worth it, and it was worth all the pain and all of that, like all the troubles it was causing me. Like that's not the one that I'm giving up. Like unless my ear falls out or something, like I'm not taking that piercing out. I love it. It was very emotional for me to get that one, and I'm looking forward to get more. But it wasn't like, at first I thought I was just gonna get something just to kind of start the journey. But then I saw that piercing online and I was like, oh no, that is like, I'm doing that one. I don't care like what it takes. And I remember like our piercer at the time, Rachel, like she was always telling me like, are you sure about that? Like, do you understand? Because like looking at me, you would assume that I don't really have much experience with piercing. So like we would like talk and discuss that and everything, which also I think was really, really awesome because I felt like someone was taking care of me. And that's one thing I just love about the whole industry, because everyone cares about each other and everyone is really worried, especially like all the piercers I've talked to, like the way they treat every single customer is amazing, because they really, like, you can tell right away they do want to see that piercing heal up. They do want to see it looking pretty and you not having any troubles with it. And that's just not just coming into work and doing your job and leaving. It's once you meet that person, like you are with them throughout their journey. And I think that's one thing that I learned when I got my piercing, and that I was like, oh my God, this is a beautiful industry. I love it. Like I feel so special. It makes me feel special. Like just getting that one piercing already made me feel like, oh my God, like everyone's taking care of me. This is so awesome, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was definitely like, I was really nervous before getting it, but I could also tell that Rachel was also nervous, and because, you know, she didn't want to hurt me, and she didn't expect me to handle it that way, and all of that, it was just very emotional, and it just kind of made me want to cry, but not because it was hurting, but because of the excitement. And that was definitely a thing. And then the first time like I started experiencing some troubles with it, I was like, oh my God, do I need to take it out? And like I was heartbroken, and I could never tell that something like that, like something I thought was before was just a piece of metal in your body, can actually make you cry over taking it out. And that was like when I first thought I had to take it out, I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to do this. And like you would think you can always re-pierce it and get it done again, but it was the point of this one. It's me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean. It was like the whole experience. It was all that you did to heal it. It was, you know, the fact that Rachel pierced you, who is your friend, you know, and
yeah,
it was, I get it because I have piercings at Avanti, you know, that I'm like, it's because it's part of the journey when I started working there and when I started coming there, you know, it was very much a time when I'm like, okay, I'm now comfortable with who me is, and this is what me looks like. And I've had to remove a couple since we started working together, and
oh yeah,
we both were like, I had to remove it. I tried everything. It's a very emotional thing. I think a lot of people think that there's tattoos where you like plan out a whole design and it takes months and even years to finish, and then there's a piercing where you poke it and it's done. But what working at Avanti has taught me is that technically, yes, you're poked, but it's so much more than that. Like, yes, the whole piercing procedure itself takes like maybe a minute, but the experience of planning and the experience of healing and the experience of coming up with the next one and curating a whole design, like a whole aesthetic, you know, based off of just a couple pieces of jewelry, that is a process that takes years, you know, to fully feel the entire process.
Oh, for sure. No, definitely that's something I learned for myself as well, because I'm like, that's not just, you know, you're just getting one piercing and then all of a sudden you're getting another one and then it just comes up to like a full picture. No, that there's a lot of thinking involved, and there's a lot of like me, you know, every time like I'll be looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, so now like what's next? What should I do? Not because I just want to do something, but I know for myself, I feel like I need more, and I'm definitely into that trend with like a whole ear, like curated ear and stuff. And I do appreciate it for the style and the look of it, but at the same time, I think I would, I think of myself and I'm like, yeah, I think that's something that I still need. That's something that I'm missing in my look. Like I need my full ear and everything, you know. I don't think I'll ever do anything more like a facial or anything else. But for me personally, I found it that this is the part of myself as like having the ears, and it was different. Like I just, it took me a good few months to come up with the next piercing that I want, because I was like, what's gonna look cute with like the one that I already have? How is it gonna match? What's the pain level I'm ready to go through again? And all of that, it was just all coming into thinking. And yes, and also I would like see what other people are getting every day, and some of the stuff they're getting was like, oh my god, I need that, I want that, you know. But then I would like stop for a second and I was like, it does look amazing on them. I don't think that's gonna look perfect the way I envision it on myself. So I was like, let's move back a little. But I do like the piercing, so now I have to match the jewelry and all of that. It's just, it's a very, very artistic process, and something that's very important for me, because I do love art. I enjoy it, but I'm not the creator. I don't like, I have hobbies, like I would draw, I would like take photos or anything, but it's not like a whole thing for me. But I found that being a piece of art, body modification for me, like that's my art, that's how I express my art. And I never thought of it that way. And that, like you said, I would always assume, you know, tattoos is a thing that you put meanings to, you put a thought into a lot, and like you're like planning it all the way and everything. Same for piercings. That's not just like getting a ring. No, it's definitely way more than that. And that's what I think, that's why I love this industry, because it's not just, you know, like first when I came into the store, it was more looking like a medical-ish environment for me, and I was like, oh wow, okay. But then later on I was like, that's a mix. Like it's a very, yes, it's a very clean and sterile environment, and there is a procedure happening, but at the same time that is still art. It's just the way it's being performed, and I think that's the beautiful part about it. And yes, you do overcome some pain, but at the end you end up having those cute pieces, and you know, you're building yourself, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like how you put it, you're building yourself. And it's very much a co-creative process too, which I think is part of the fun, because you know, it's like a collaboration art project. And you know, with the tattoo, you get a tattoo and you may see the tattoo artist again, you may not.
Yeah.
But with a piercing, you're coming in usually to the same piercer about the same piercing with different jewelry ideas, and they're just as excited about what you're going to put in it as you are. And that process is super fun. I love when customers come in and I'm like, you're a friend now. Like, I know your name, I know your child's name,
Yeah.
I know what you do for work, I know about your heartbreak last week, I know about your doctor's visit next week, you know? And it's just such a personable place to be. It really is. It's so much more, because I felt the same way. I'm like, oh, working in a piercing studio would be fun. And then I started working in a piercing studio and I'm like, this is not just fun, like this is a job. It's a vocation, you know? It's like a calling. It's like everything that you could want to be. You get to make a difference in someone's life. They make a difference in your life. You get to look at sparkly, pretty things, and you get to be creative, even if you may not feel creative in a traditional sense. It still allows you that outlet that I think most people are looking for in some way.
Yeah, no, I would agree on that. And definitely that's one part of working in that industry that I did not expect to happen at all. And that's just something like I just kind of learned as I was working there. You start like it's not a typical job in the store where you're like just selling people stuff that they need. It's all about building the connection, and it's all about talking and figuring out what they need, what they want. Helping them find that perfect piece is also a huge thing. And it was definitely like, I'm not gonna lie, I was really worried about it, because like when I just started, like I didn't have any experience in the industry or anything like that. And I did understand that it was a very important thing. Like when people are coming in for a piercing, they're still getting stabbed. There's still, there's still a whole process. And I was like, there's no chance for a mistake or anything. But at the same time, I was like, I felt like it was a lot of responsibility of like helping out a person. And I was like, what if I make the wrong choice or something? Or what if I like suggest something wrong or something else? And I do tend to overthink a lot, but in fact, it was just, I feel like as soon as a person walks in and you start talking to them, like you said, you like all of a sudden you learn about what happened to them last week, or like how their life has been, or something else, why they're getting that piece, why they want the new piercing, or oh man, how many great stories did I hear as I was working there. That's just awesome. And that's something like I absolutely did not expect from this industry at all. But apparently I was like, that was a shock, but I was like, oh my God. And then especially like the first month, I would come back home and I would be like, oh my God, like I'll call my mom and I was like, you would not believe, like, oh, so today we had this customer come in and she told me this and that, and we had a nice conversation, and I feel like I knew that person forever, but that was a new person, and I never thought it would be me who could like right away start talking to someone. Like I always felt like I'm a little what's the word, like I'm not very social. And I was like, I don't know, like I'm not like making friends every day or anything like that. I'm always keeping the distance. So that was also like, I was worried about that part of myself, and I was like, how is that gonna help me or not help me at my job? But then it just happens so naturally, because like I just feel like I'm there, someone comes in, they need my help, and all of a sudden I just feel that responsibility, and I get excited over that, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to do my best to help you now, and like I want to make it work. And especially when someone, like my favorite part is when someone comes in is like, all right, I want some sort of piercing, I don't know what I want, tell me what I want, or like show me what you have. Oh my God, then it's just the fun part. I love it, because then we take out all of the jewelry and then we're just like looking in the mirror, placing the same jewelry all over their like ears or their face, like trying to find that perfect spot for it. Oh, that's just so much fun. And like every time like I would tell someone that I work at the piercing studio, they would be like, oh, so you stop people? I'm like, no, I have fun. I get the art part, the most of it, because we're like talking and we're figuring out and we get creative, and then the piercer comes out and then he gives his opinion, and then it's like a mutual project, and then all of a sudden there are like 4 of us helping that one person, and we're all just like there getting super excited about that one piece that person's gonna get. And I think this is awesome. And just like I don't know, like we're just having so much fun there, and I think that's like the best part about our job, because it's I don't know, just like conversations that we have every day. We like talk to people, and like we have so many like customers that are like so funny, and they'll come in and they'll just stop in for like 5 minutes and to make your day brighter, and that's awesome. We like when I had that one girl come in probably like maybe a week after she got her piercing, and I was helping her out, and we picked that one piece for her, and then she just stopped by to say hi and see how we were doing and just look at our jewelry. And then all of a sudden she just started coming in, and she became an Avanti friend, and that just not a one person thing. That's most of people that we see, that then they're returning back, and it's always so exciting to see them again. And then especially like seeing them getting excited about coming back and seeing you again, and it's just like a mutual thing. And I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like no, but it was definitely like, I feel like we're making a lot of friends, like our family friends, that's how I want to call it. And like, it's pretty much every person that we help in store just becomes our friend. And I think that's just such a big community that we're creating, and that's the best thing that I love about working there, for sure, is it's the people aspect.
Me too. Well, I have to wrap this up, but thank you so much, Anastasia, for sharing your heart for Avanti, sharing about your travel experiences, living in different places. And I'm excited for us to reopen so you can come back in the studio and we can co-create some of those beautiful piercings. I'm getting calls all the time like, are you guys open yet? And I'm like, I really wish we were. So as soon as I'm so excited for this to be over so everyone can come in, and it'll be nice and a safe time for when everyone can come in.
I'm super excited to see everyone back in the shop. I miss everyone. I go crazy without like seeing everyone. I miss you. I miss all the guys who work there. I miss Jasper a lot, and I miss all of our customers. And I'm like, sorry, I know we're wrapping up. Just a real quick thing. Yeah. Every time I see someone buy a cute piece online or something, I would be like, I really want to know where this piece is going, or like what piercing they have, or I'm like always so curious, who are you? Like, I want to see you in person. I want to learn about your piercing and everything. And I'm like, we need to open.
Yes, I know. I've seen all those pieces that we've been excited, like we've been looking for homes for them. We might have had them in the studio for like a couple months, and we're like, who's gonna buy this? And then it gets bought online, and I'm like, I want to know who you are, because I've been looking at this piece and wondering, whose home is this? And then the home buys it, and I'm like, no, I want to know your home.
Yeah, no, exactly, definitely. That's one of the things that I miss the most about like us being open, is definitely learning and like knowing exactly where each piece is going, and like learning their journey. And yeah, I hope we open soon.
Me too. Well, it was good to see you, and I hope to see you soon, either over video chat again or in person.
Hopefully in person will happen soon.
Yes, hopefully in person. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye.